Andromeda, daughter of Cepheus and Cassiopeia, kings of Ethiopia, although some sources say that they were kings of Joppa in modern-day Israel. The point is that the princess was the owner of majestic beauty, same beauty that would end up bringing misfortune to her people. Well, it turns out that her mother was so proud of her daughter's beauty. How full of pride, she dared to compare her, and even assure that Andromeda's beauty even surpassed that of her own Nereids, sea nymphs of great beauty. The nymphs, offended by such a comparison, complained to Poseidon, god of the seas. Well, Poseidon became angry at such a daring comparison. As punishment, he caused a terrible flood, and also sent a terrible sea monster called Keto to destroy Ethiopia. Cepheus, desperate in the face of the calamity that loomed over his people and the worst things that were coming, sought the advice of the oracle. He told him that the only way to appease the anger of Poseidon and Ceto himself was to give Andromeda as a sacrifice. Cepheus felt very distressed by the words of the oracle. He loved his daughter, however. For the good of all Ethiopia, he must make the decision to carry out the horrible sacrifice. Andromeda was then tied to a rock on the coast, waiting for the monster to come for her. At that moment, Perseus was passing by, coming back from one of her adventures. Some versions say that he flew riding Pegasus, while others claim that he did so using the flying sandals of Hermes given to him by Athena. By the way, if you want to see how he obtained them, you can do it by watching the video that I will leave you here. The thing is that Perseus was passing by when he saw the princess. Intrigued by that scenario, he approached and found out what had happened. He then spoke to the king and queen and told them that he could save her daughter from her dark fate, and that as a reward he wanted Andromeda as her wife. Since he had fallen in love with her at first sight, the parents accepted. After all, they had nothing to lose. They did not believe that a simple man could face the huge beast. So it was that Perseus went to the rescue of Andromeda. As Cetus approached the shore and emerged from the depths, Perseus confronted him. Again, there is more than one version of the fight. One tells us that taking advantage of the creature's carelessness, he jumped on its back and stabbed it to death. The other, that at the moment of Keto emerging, Perseus used the head of Medusa that he carried with him, and the Gorgon's terrible gaze petrified him, thus turning him into a huge coral statue. Once the battle was over, Perseus claimed the prize from him. The kings reluctantly agreed, but they had pledged their word and they had to keep it. Well, that's how the time came to celebrate the wedding. They were both happy since the love they had for each other was mutual. But in the middle of the wedding banquet, Phineus, Cepheus's brother, appeared, interrupting the celebration and assuring that Andromeda, her niece, had been offered to him as a wife, and therefore he had come to claim her. The fight broke out. What should have been a celebration ended up turning into chaos. In the face of the bloody combat, Perseus once again used the head of Medusa and transformed his enemies into stone, to then take Andromeda with him to his country, Seriphos, to later leave for Argos. When the princess died, the goddess Athena took her to the northern skies as the constellation of Andromeda, placing her next to her husband and her mother Cassiopeia, a story that shows us that the pride and arrogance of human beings can have serious consequences. I hope you liked it. If so, please subscribe and activate the notification bell. Like and share it. A loving hug, and it will be until a next adventure.